I go full steam ahead. There's no time for slowing down. I can sleep when I'm dead. I've been around a block or two. Now the limit is the sky. I think I finally paid my dues. It's time for me to fly. Well, I've heard the haters talking, but I don't pay no thought to what they've said. I've got the wind beneath my wings, and there's bigger, better things up ahead. And now that I've caught my second wind, I can see the light ahead at the tunnel's end. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I ain't even hit second gear. Try to keep up, catch me if you can.
Thank you, Travis Tidwell, for this great video and this great music. I love it. If you want to learn more about Travis, please click the link below here on our channel. It's already late. We want to start our event, so follow me to Bangkok. Hello and welcome to our first virtual event in 2021, which today takes place at 3 locations worldwide: Las Vegas, Rotterdam, and here in Bangkok at the beautiful Millennium Hilton. This is so amazing, and I'm more than happy to guide you through the show today. It is the very first time that we do a virtual event like today, and I'm quite excited about this. Today we have attendees from all over the world. This is our most global event ever. We are glad that you can join us today for some exciting new products, updates and announcements. But before we start with all the amazing new products, I would like to hand over to Aaron Shelby, the grandson of Carroll Shelby. Aaron will take you on a journey through the Shelby history.
I'm Aaron Shelby, Carroll Shelby's grandson and current board member of Carroll Shelby International. Carroll grew up in East Texas and moved to Dallas at a young age. Really liked speed from a very young age. His dad was a postal carrier and he used to drive around his father's car on the twisty roads of East Texas. He went into the Air Corps after graduating from high school in 1940, loved flying, and that was probably his favorite thing. After Carroll got out of the Air Force after World War II, he really didn't know what he was going to do, but in the early 50s, a friend of his asked him to drive a race car, which was an MG. And he wound up winning both races in that car, and that started his career as a race car driver professionally through the 50s. He raced for factory teams with Maserati and Aston Martin. He did a lot of racing in the States for a couple of wealthy car owners that had Ferraris and Maseratis in their stables and Cat Allards, etc. Became very successful at it. He was Sports Illustrated's Driver of the Year a couple of years, won the US Championship, ultimately culminating in winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1959 with Aston Martin. Unfortunately, he had a heart problem, and in 1960, he had to stop racing. So at that point, he wasn't totally sure where things were going to go, but he had seen in Europe a small roadster, the AC Ace, and thought if he could get something like that done and brought to the States and put Ford's new, at the time, V8 motor in there, he'd really have a sports car that could go out and compete with the Corvette. So Carroll was one of the first Americans to go over and race in Europe. It was really unheard of at that point in time for Americans to go to Europe and race. He was successful over there with Aston Martin and, like I said, Maserati as well, racing in both Formula cars, but primarily the success was in the sports cars. And it really opened up a stream after that with, you had Phil Hill and Dan Gurney, and a lot of bigger Americans got noticed by the European manufacturers at that point in time and joined the racing circuits. Sports cars at the time was huge. And you also had the Formula One circuit, which was coming to the United States, and they started to recognize the quality of the American drivers. In 1960, Carroll's doctors told him he had to stop racing because he had a heart condition. And if he kept racing, he may kill himself out there because of his weak heart. So he decided to stop, culminating in actually winning the U.S. Road Racing Championship in 1960. After 1960, he did have a couple of ideas of what he was going to do, but wasn't totally sure. He had seen a couple of small English roadsters that he thought might benefit from some American muscle. And so what he did was convince AC to ship him a chassis, sort of an updated AC Ace, and then also talked Ford into providing a V8 motor for him. And that was a genesis of the first Cobra in 1962. As the story goes, Carroll was a bit of a nuisance to Ford, and they finally just said, hey, just give him a couple motors and some money and get him out of here. So he and his boys on the West Coast put the first Cobra together in 1962, debuting at the New York Auto Show. Ford didn't really have anything to do with it at that point in time. Shelby had its own booth. Ford didn't want to have them in their booth. But the car was the hit of the show. Soon after that, the Shelby American crews took it out to the racetracks and started beating the Corvettes handily at the American circuits. And that got Ford's attention really quickly. And so the engine developed a bit and the car continued to develop, and ultimately wound up with Ford coming back and asking Carroll to partner with them on the GT350 Mustang in 1965. The Cobra surprised a lot of people. The success the Cobra had on the racetrack surprised a lot of people, and the development of the Cobra surprised many more. The amount of time it took and the short period of time it took to develop that into a winning car, being able to beat other makes on the road courses of America, was really surprising. He had some of the top drivers coming and racing for him, and Ken Miles, Phil Hill, Dan Gurney, Bob Bondurant, and those guys were whipping the Corvettes week in and week out. So in late 1964, Ford had the Ford Mustang that was being introduced as a brand new vehicle. And the development team at Ford approached Carroll about trying to spruce the car up and make it racetrack ready. And so they sent a couple of cars down to Shelby American in Southern California, and that was the genesis of the GT350 Mustang. The GT350 wound up being really successful in the Trans Am circuits and the sports car circuits in the United States, winning in its first time out in February of 1965 with Ken Miles as the driver. With the success of the Cobra program and the early success of the Shelby Mustang program, the relationship with Ford was really strong. And that translated into production cars as well, the GT350s and GT500s being produced out of Shelby American up until through 1967. In 1968, Ford took the production of the Shelby Mustangs over and produced the last 3 model years in 68, 69, and 70. At that point, the program had kind of run its course, and Carroll's work with them ended, with both parties splitting their ways and going their separate directions. Shelby and Ford joined forces again in the early 2000s, and Edsel Ford was actually instrumental in that. He had a long time history with Carroll. They had a relationship well back into the 60s. And as they reached out and started talking again, they thought it would be a good idea to bring Carroll back into the Ford family, and Carroll was all for it. Shelby's relationship with Ford rekindled in the early 2000s. The first new Shelby Mustang of that generation was 2006. It was actually the Hertz GT rental car Mustangs, and then the first production Shelby Mustang that Ford did in the new generation was a 2007 GT500. That relationship blossomed into the Shelby American factory in Las Vegas, helping Ford develop some of the new Shelby products. And then ultimately today, what we do is spend a lot of time with the Ford engineering team between Gary Patterson and myself, looking at what's coming down the pipeline with Ford and helping to push the envelope on engineering. Over the period of time that we've rekindled the relationship, we not only have been successful with the Mustang program, but the truck program has been wildly successful. We started that about 2013, and particularly for what we do out of Shelby American in Las Vegas, the trucks are by far a bigger volume piece for us than the Mustangs today. As we continue to expand our relationships and grow the brand across the world, one of the best things that happened for us was Ford taking the Mustang international in 2015. One of our strongest partners internationally today is GU Auto Trade. We began the relationship with GU Auto Trade in 2017 with our launch at the Essen Motor Show in Germany. GU Auto Trade focuses on selling and distributing Shelby products in Europe primarily, and more recently we're working with them on distribution in certain Asian markets as well. With Shelby now going international, there's a lot of different regulatory and international standards that we have to abide by. And GU Auto Trade has been a great partner with us in helping us weed through what has to happen to make these cars sellable overseas. Since our launch date in Europe with GU Auto Trade, Shelby has been very successful with both the trucks and the Mustang products. We look forward to continued growth with GU Auto Trade and expanding our markets in other international destinations. Shelby American was wildly successful with the Cobra racing program in the United States, but the big challenge was to go international over to Europe. They took the team over there and realized that the tracks were a lot different, so they had to modify the cars a bit to be more successful, but ultimately got there. With Peter Brock's help in the development of the Daytona Coupe, they wound up winning their class at Le Mans in 1964 and winning the World Championship for GT class in 1965. That got Ford's attention as well as they were developing the GT40 program at the time. Ford approached Carroll in 1965 about running the GT40 race program over in Europe as they really wanted to beat Ferrari at their own game at Le Mans. Ultimately, while 1965 didn't work out for that victory, 1966, Shelby American helped Ford sweep a 1-2-3 class victory in Le Mans and the overall championship as well. It was the first of 2 years in a row where Shelby American won the overall victory at Le Mans in 1966 and 1967. Carroll was always a proponent of looking at what the next great technology would be. He was known as a tinkerer himself, and any time that somebody came up with an idea, he was happy to test it out. Today at Shelby, we're continuing to look at what next generation propulsion systems could be, whether you're talking electrification or hydrogen or hybrid power. There's many options out there. And we want to continue to be on the cutting edge of where that technology is going to be introduced in the automotive world. Every day at Shelby American, we continue to look to the future. Carroll always said his best car was his next one, and we continue to abide by that in our development today. Whether it's a truck, a car, an EV, it doesn't matter. We're always looking to push the envelope of technology and what can be better in performance than what is on the market right now. Carroll was always a bit ahead of his time when it came to development of technology. He was always looking for cutting edge equipment and who had new ideas that maybe the next generation would be successful with. He didn't succeed all the time with these ideas, but he was never afraid to push the envelope and try things out until they broke, which is how he found out how to win and how he found out how to develop these cars that bear his name today. Here at Shelby, we're really excited to continue our partnership with GU Auto Trade as we look to certain markets over in Asia. They spend a lot of time on the ground there determining where Shelby can be a successful product line. And we think they've identified some great locations and great countries that'll be really beneficial for the Shelby brand and GU Auto Trade as we go forward into the future.
For the 2021 F-150 trucks, Shelby American did a whole new design, and the result is amazing. Today we will show you these awesome new trucks for the very first time. I'll hand over to the good boys who will show you the bad boys. Hello Gary, hello Vince.
The 21 Shelby F-150. Guys, this is really a bad boy truck, and we've made a lot of changes for 21. Ford made changes to the base truck in 21. Shelby came up and did a whole new design on the 21 truck. So with that, Vince, why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
So on the 21, we redesigned the front end completely on this truck. It's really neat. It's a lot of fun. You'll see this in our four-wheel drive truck, our lowered truck, our sport truck. It's really exciting. So first thing you notice is the new grille up in the front. Very nice, kind of pops out to you. Has the Shelby bar in it, just like the Mustangs do. Kind of a little tie to go between the two of them. Has a new front bumper cover on it. Some really nice trim that goes on the lower with a lower grille on it. We've done just some little accessories on the side just to kind of brighten it up a little bit, give it a nice look. You'll see a functional scooped hood, and it also has evacuations out the back. So therefore, we're still along with the same thing we did with the Mustang. We're trying to evacuate as much heat. Once you supercharge these babies, you want to try to get as much performance as you can out of them.
So this one has a 5-liter V8 engine, and it's also supercharged. 775 horses, emissions legal on 98 octane pump gas. So where we really also made some big changes to the F-150 is in the tires, which are BF Goodrich 35-inch performance tires, all-terrain KO2s. We also have our unique, brand new for 21 Shelby rims with the Shelby center cap. But what makes it all really work is this really cool Fox suspension. So a lot of the trucks come with Fox suspension. This is a better Fox suspension with more adjustability for control and dampening and rebound.
And for the performance, we also offer a brake upgrade also for the truck. So it's really exciting. We haven't been able to do that before, but this year we are able to do that.
So we've got some Easter eggs here with an off-road Shelby F-150 side badge. And when you open the door, you get the power running boards and a significant interior upgrade with not only the Shelby branded leather seats, unique Shelby serial number, but take a look at this interior with the carbon fiber surrounds and accents, Shelby gauges, Shelby center console badging.
So if you look in the back here, we redesigned the rear tonneau cover, kind of a nice little lip in the back right here, kind of smoothed everything out, raised it up where the stripes go. It's really nice looking. Another thing you see is the nice fender flares that we put on here. Try to get as factory as possible. Nice little trim line that runs on them. You can see the suspension in the back. If you look across the back of the tailgate, we also have nice Shelby across the back of the tailgate. We did our traditional Borla exhaust system, and also we did a nice new bumper cover on the end with little cutouts for the bumper, for the exhaust system. It's just a nice, clean look. It's a very nice truck for the road and off-road.
This is a bad boy truck, but what I'd like to show you guys next is the Shelby Super Baja. Let's take a look at that, Vince.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, this is the Shelby Super Baja. So everything that we talked about with the Shelby F-150, which is a really bad boy truck, if you want the biggest from the very beginning, this is based on an F-250 chassis with a 6.7 liter turbo diesel with 1,050 pound-feet of torque. So Vince, why don't you talk to him a little bit about, the front end like you did with the last one, the grill, the hood, the bumpers, get underneath. There's a lot of Easter eggs here.
There's a lot of stuff here. When you look at this truck here, first thing you see is massive. Everything on it is big. Custom hood, redone front grill, Shelby front bumper on it, nice off-road lighting. The chase bar in the back also has a light that'll rise and lower to get out of the way so you can actually fit into something a little bit tighter. You look on the side, you see the big giant fender flares that we have on the side right here. The reason we have the fender flares like this is because...
Well, guess what? That truck had 35-inch tires and 22-inch rims. This is a 20-inch rim, but a 37-inch diameter tire. Look at the tread lugs on this. That throws a lot of mud or snow or whatever it is that you got planned. So we needed some big fender cladding for that. And with that, why don't we walk around a little bit more to the side, and you can see also, like the F-150, a very unique side badge that says F-250 Super Baja and the traditional Shelby snake. Going into the Shelby stripes.
Gary, before I go any farther, I'm going to put a light on the subject here. I
Oh,
want you guys
yeah.
to look underneath there and see that nice Fox suspension. This thing is ready to go. Everything on this thing, nice trailing arms down below, reservoirs, heavy duty springs. This truck is set up very nice on the highway, and it does very well off-road. If you guys are looking for a fun chase truck, this is a good place to start.
Yeah, so you can also adjust with this manually the dampening and rebound on that suspension. And I think, Vince, you've actually had it so it actually comes off the ground.
It does come off the ground a
Wheels
bit,
up in
yeah.
the air. So we do some fun testing with these, which is really cool.
There's some videos out there. I
Yeah,
believe.
there's a video. Maybe you'll see the video. Again, the carbon fiber appearance package on the inside, so you can see that with the dash. Surrounding the gauges, which are, by the way, unique Shelby gauges, unique leather Shelby finished seats, console cover. These will have the unique Shelby serial number as well. This one also have a nice floor mat. This one doesn't have it because we're getting ready to deliver it to a brand new customer. All you dealers would appreciate that. So at any rate, with that, we'll proceed toward the back of the truck.
So you look here on the back, we got this nice exciting chase rack on here. It says Shelby Baja, Super Baja on the side actually. Nice Shelby badges, the Shelby Super Baja stickers on the side, nice big lips on the side to go along with the big 37s. If you're looking for a truck that does just about everything, the new Shelby Super Baja is probably the truck for you. It's great for towing. You can carry a big payload in it. If you're looking to do some chase truck stuff, whatever you want to do, if you just want a nice truck to drive on the road every day, this is the truck to buy right here. Well, that's a look at our lineup that we have here for you right now. Don't forget there's a lot more things that Shelby has out there on the market.
So Vince, you're right. What a lineup we have for you dealers today. All over Europe and Asia, it's a very exciting time at Shelby American. We've got cars, everything from the Shelby Turbo, which is a 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine, to the GT500 Signature Edition, the Shelby Super Snake trucks, a whole range from the short, lowered version of the Super Snake truck, 0 to 60 in 3.45 seconds, 775 horses, really great in the turns. The raised Shelby F-150, supercharged 775 horse V8 gasoline engine, and then the biggest of the biggest bad boy, the Shelby Super Baja turbo diesel with over 1,050 pound-feet of torque.
Don't forget to mention our street truck.
Oh yeah, the street truck too. We have a lowered one.
We have a lowered
with
street
4
truck.
doors.
Yeah, nice, has a nice
same
balance
as
in
that.
the front.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, we're also continuing to work on the next one.
Yep.
So stay tuned. The future is bright. Shelby American is your company.
Let's talk about the Shelby Super Snake. The Shelby Super Snake is back for 2021 with a fresh look and more refinement. This iconic car is a rare combination of sleek elegance and American muscle machismo. Let's go back to Gary and Vince.
This particular car is based on the GT500 Shelby that is primarily produced at Ford Motor Company. We've taken that, we worked carefully, Vince and I and Aaron Shelby, with Ford Motor Company to develop all of our products. And so you'll see Mustang-based products today and some truck-based products today as well. But with that, we'll get started with this particular one, and this is based on the GT500. So with that, Vince, why don't you talk about a little bit of the product attributes that we worked on with Ford and what we're doing with this specific.
So it's very important when we're starting to design a car and we start to design features for existing cars that we play off of exactly what Ford had intended the car to be. So this car here was actually designed with a lot of aerodynamics into it. We wanted to make sure that we didn't hurt any of the aerodynamics on the car, but yet we still needed better cooling on the car. Therefore, we went ahead and got together with the Ford engineers, found out exactly where the best place is to evacuate heat from these cars, and we went ahead and designed a whole new carbon fiber hood. So this is a very nice carbon fiber hood with the Shelby finger pops on the front right here. And then after we did that, we wanted to get a little bit deeper into the car, make it a little bit more exciting. So we started in with the suspension system on it. We're actually working with a company out of Europe right now, developing a whole new system for the GT500. We're very excited to bring it to the US.
Okay, so Vince was talking a little bit about the algorithms and stuff that we've got in the MagneRide suspension. So We at Shelby have been working with the company in Europe, as he mentioned, to actually change those kind of things and make it work better, also with a different spring package that helps with this too. So you'll actually notice that with the way this car sits and its ride height, which is also adjustable manually.
Yep. We also did a new wheel and tire package for the car. A lot of people have the carbon fiber wheel. We wanted to make it a little safer for them on the track. As far as a little more durability, some of the guys are afraid to have a problem with them. So anyway, what we do is we came out with a new wheel and tire package. This here is a signature edition car. So with the signature edition, we actually add Carol's signature inside the seats, do a nice seat package, all leather on the inside. And then it gets really exciting when we get underneath the hood.
So it's a little dirty underneath, but that means we've been driving it. And Vince and I both do the driving for the company, and we evaluate our products and so forth. So it's not just stickers and scoops. We do a whole lot of content in these cars. So what you'll see with this one is a somewhat dirty expansion tank here, but it is a aluminum Shelby branded tank. And you'll see adjustable caster camber plates here, little Easter eggs like Shelby dipstick.
So what we've done is we've actually changed the intercooler in the car. We've actually changed the heat exchanger also in the car. So what we've done is we've taken what Ford's done and just made it just a little bit better. So that way we get a little more time on the track. Another thing we do is we actually put a little smaller pulley on it. We were able to do a smaller pulley change without having to change the tunes, so we don't have to worry about EPA on this.
Right, and it still runs on, in Europe, you guys would call it 98 octane gas. So with that fuel in the system, this car will make over 800 horsepower on the pump gas that you have there in Europe and Asia.
So what we did is we came up with a lightweight aluminum wheel, kind of a replacement for the carbon fibers. A lot of guys like to take the carbon fibers off. And when in the track situations, there's a lot of debris and stuff like that. So we wanted to give somebody an option to be able to have a different style wheel on their car. And then we change the tires up. Another thing we do, when we walk down the car a little bit farther, you see the nice side stripe on the side. We have the Shelby on the front. We do the signature edition in the back. And then we go with the leather interior. There's also a serial number badge that goes on the dashboard. That's very important. So when you buy the signature edition package, this actually puts this car into the registry, so which is a very important thing. So the Shelbys that come from the factory aren't in the registry. After they're turned into a signature edition, then they do get put in the registry.
You can see this car happens to be white with a blue stripe. So when your customers look at these cars, you can also talk to them about small things that we can do for vehicle personalization. Like you might want to say, okay, I like this combination, but I'd rather have a red car with black stripes or things like that. So there is some personalization there, as well as wheels. So these happen to be a black wheel, but you can get the same wheel design, but in the more polished version.
Yep. We've upgraded the wing in the back, so all the cars come with the swing that goes in the back. Another thing we do is along the back area right here, we have Shelby on the back on the new rear body panel with the signature edition badge. Another nice thing is the note. So let's go ahead and fire it up and listen to our new exhaust system. So we work with the Borla exhaust system company to kind of develop our own sound. So when you hear a regular Mustang fire up, it always sounds different than a Shelby. A Shelby always has just that Shelby sound. So we're pretty proud about that. We went ahead and brought it over onto the GT500 also.
So now guys, we got something really different. Yes, it's still a Shelby Mustang, but this is a Shelby Mustang Super Snake. This starts as a Mustang GT, but there's a whole lot more to it, and we're going to talk about those things right now.
So what we do is we always try to get as much performance as we can. A lot of times we'll use the factory front fascia, and we'll kind of change a few things. This year, we decided to go ahead and change everything. You'll see a whole complete brand new front fascia on these cars. We designed that with performance in it 100%. We make it to where we get extra air in down below for the intercoolers, for the radiator. On each side, we have room for oil cooler on one side, transmission cooler on the other side. We've got a custom grill in here. Custom grill's got a little bar, does a little swirl about 100 miles an hour. We get a little more downforce in the front end. Trying to stabilize this car. We add a little bit bigger canards on the side to add. We bring the air up over the tires. A neat thing about this car here is it's what we call a square car this year. So what we did is we put 305s all the way around on the car. So you notice the hood scoop isn't the big giant hood scoop that you used to see on our earlier cars. The reason is we've actually done a lot more research. We've got it to where we're evacuating a lot more heat. The air comes in, hits the top of the intercooler now, and evacuates out the back. Another exciting thing we have is the front fenders are aluminum, and the air actually evacuates out the side of the fenders. We've done testing on track at speed. Our underhood temperatures are 8 degrees above ambient air temperature right now, which is really exciting.
Well, Vince, why don't we get a little peek under the hood and show them all the neat stuff that this car has, because there are significant changes.
First thing we do is we do a larger radiator. We want to make sure everything's cool. It's very important to us. We do a lot of testing here. We want to make sure that everything works correctly. You notice the new superchargers that we have. We work with a company called Whipple. Whipple Superchargers has a new top on it. We have the intercooler up on top. So when we saw the intercooler up on top, that gave us the idea to go ahead and start using this hood to go ahead and bring as much heat as we could out of here. So it's very exciting. You'll see the new Shelby overflow tanks, the intercooler tank you'll see over there on that side right there. So these are just some of the exciting things. It has adjustable front suspension, of course. And then let's talk a little bit about the horsepower, Gary.
Well, you know what? This thing starts as an animal. 480 horses right from the factory at Ford. With that supercharger, though, we're at 825 emissions legal horsepower on your 98 octane pump gas. So that's a very exciting piece. The other thing that's exciting too about the Super Snake is because it starts as a Mustang GT, you have two transmission options. You've got either automatic or a manual transmission. You also have a choice between a coupe or even a convertible with this same Super Snake package. So talk about vehicle personalization like we did here with the Signature Edition car. Your customers can choose not only the color, the stripe, they can choose whether it's a vinyl stripe, a painted stripe, but they can also look at the wheel color. So if you look at this particular car, you see a brand new Shelby branded wheel in forged aluminum, and you can get it in the bright finish like you see with this car, or the black finish like you see on that car. Obviously different wheel style, but the finish though is what you see. So forged wheel, aluminum, lightweight, very strong.
So why don't we do a little walk around, Gary? We'll show them what we got going here. So if you look at the side of the car, it's very exciting, the things that we're doing with this car. We do things like, earlier we used to have rockers that had little wings on them and they came out pretty far. It didn't really work for us as well. We wanted to get a little sleeker. We wanted to add a little more style to it. So you see we have a new special rocker that we put on the car. We have removable wings for the front and the rear. The reason we do that is because we offer the wide body setups. So this is being a square car. This has the wide body fenders on the front. You can see the evacuation that comes out through the side right here. It's all factory.
So with that, Vince talked a little bit about the side. We talked a little bit about the scallop quarter windows, which are really cool. Completely new piece from Shelby American. And if we take a look inside, one of the first things you notice is our signature snakeskin leather seats. So we've recovered these. So whether you get the standard seats or the Recaro seats, we recover those. The all-important Shelby serial number badge is on the dash. So you get a unique Shelby serial number to go with the Ford serial number that allows for tracking and registry and things like that. Just like the Signature Edition car is, you get it here. Plus, this particular car has extra gauges. So if you look in the center of the dash, there's a whole new gauge pod that goes with this car.
Yeah. Another exciting thing we do is we want to put performance into the cars. So what we do is we offer a stronger stud kit. So actually the wheel studs, you'll see them where they stick out farther than the lug nuts. That's because it's a heavy duty race style lug kit. We put those on all the cars. Another thing, when you look at these rims, you'll see how beefy they are. We redesigned the rims to where it's a very, very track capable car, very stable and very safe. Another thing in the back, we went ahead and used the swing this year on the back of the Super Snakes also. We did also the Shelby badging across the back with the rear body plate. You look down on the back here, it has a custom rear diffuser with our own designed octagon style exhaust system from Borla. This is the one that gives you the note. So let's go ahead and fire this one up and see what she sounds like. So this one's still comfortable for the street. But has a nice sound on the track. We want to give you a performance sound in the car, but we don't want to give you something that is very annoying when you're on the highway. Very comfortable car to drive, you can drive it. We always kid people. We'll drive 200 miles to a track, we'll run them for 2 or 3 days in a row, and then we drive back home. They're going like, where's your trailer? Shelbys are made to drive. You don't need to trailer our cars.
Let's talk about the all-new Shelby GT Turbo. This car we produce only for the Asian market and it will be limited to 50 units. Let me show you more. I give back to Gary and Vince.
Today we've got a very special car to share with you guys. This is called the Shelby GT Turbo. It's very unique just for the Asian market. Only 50 units will be built. With that, why don't you go over a couple of the special performance features, Vince, and we'll talk a little bit about this car.
Yeah, we wanted to build something a little special for the Asian market. We wanted something that was sporty, but we wanted something that looked nice and that functioned very well. We started with doing a wider front fender on the front, so this is what we call our wide body front fender. What that allows us to do is to run a 305 tire up in the front. What that does is gives us better handling all the way around. With the spring package and the dampening that we do on this car, makes it a very well handling car. Another thing we did special for the Asian market is we built a custom hood. This hood here is only made for you guys. It's got a special bar on the front. It's got ventilation in it, evacuates the heat out of it. Very special. Another thing we did, we run a premium front end on the front with a large lower splitter on the front to give it that aggressive look that it needs. We did some nice badging, Shelby GT Turbo, front and back on the car. We did some custom rockers on it. And then some of the styling cues as far as the paint, we also did.
So this has a very unique side stripe. Normally the Shelby cars have the over-the-top stripe and one at the bottom. For just you guys though, we did a special side stripe that actually comes down the side of the car and clearly says Shelby GT Turbo. And you can see the side rockers right here and these beautiful polished aluminum wheels that say Forged and Shelby that are engraved right into the rim itself, as well as the Shelby center cap.
We balance out the back of the car with a nice wing on the back. We do a nice custom interior on the inside. You'll notice the vents on the side of the fender, they actually work. They actually help to evacuate the heat out of the engine compartment. So everything on this car was designed for performance. We think you're really gonna love this. Another thing, what's under the hood?
It's a 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, which is turbocharged 340 horsepower.
And we run that on a 98 octane fuel. The higher octane fuel you can run in them, the better they run.
We hope you enjoy your new Shelby.
The reception of the Shelby trucks and Mustangs has always been off the charts, but the new Shelby cars are a giant leap forward. It's not just an upgrade, it's a breakthrough. We started last year in Asian markets and it became immediately successful. Currently, we have very professional and passionate dealers in China, Japan, South Korea, and on the Philippines. Now we want to expand our business to Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and Indonesia. Next, Team Shelby. Founded by Carol Shelby in 2008, Team Shelby is a club driven by over 50 years of passion, performance, and pedigree. Carol had a vision of a community where Shelby and Cobra enthusiasts could enjoy their cars the way he and the Shelby American team intended. This community is Team Shelby. To tell you about what's new, here's Tracy.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful that we can come together with Lily and be able to bring that in and to bring that passion that we have here in the US to Europe and let them see that, and to Asia and say like, wow, this is really something unique and special.
The one word I like the best to describe Shelby is team.
And
Yeah.
you know, it's contagious.
Yeah.
It really is. It's contagious. The passion, it drives the brand. We are a passion-driven brand, and Lily gets that, and she understands that, and she wants to bring that in. And that's one of the reasons why we continue doing what we do with Lily, and wanted to bring in Team Shelby for other continents
Yeah,
and all
for
the
other
parts.
countries,
Other
and
countries.
you know.
And while there's a lot of energy here at Shelby and we do a lot of things, there's no way that the team here in Las Vegas can do all of those things. So the great thing is Lily's team is actually building that the infrastructure and that support in Asia and Europe. So they're going to help do the fulfillment of the collectible kits. They're going to help facilitate the events. They are a tremendous support to connecting both the community and the dealers together.
Yep.
And that's the great thing about working with GU Auto Trade. The one word I would use to describe Shelby would be fun.
The Shelby Team Shelby Club in Europe, it's already established for a long time. The challenge for us is in Asia, because the Shelby brand is just getting known in Asia market. So we need our dealers to create and then to offer the Team Shelby membership to all the people who buy the cars, and also work with the local clubs like Mustang clubs, and then other car clubs to work with them to bring them into the Team Shelby family, so that they know more about the Shelby brand and Shelby products. That's the my goal for the next couple years for Asian market.
We have set up the business in Europe with fantastic partners a few years ago. I can say that we have a very stable business in Europe, and we will continue to expand to some countries we currently don't serve. We don't want to grow too fast. We are looking more for passionate and professional partners in order to make sure that they can provide the best service to the customers. First, we will support our dealers with a new program, which includes a marketing strategy for the local markets. Second, we have more Shelby products to come this and next year. Aside from Shelby, we as GUA have also the distribution for Tuscany products and the Harley-Davidson trucks. We as GUA will also introduce a new brand to Europe and Asia later this summer. And for all our brands, I can say we are not only talking about gas engines. Our store in Rotterdam is not only a store. It's the heart of our company. Over there we sell not only cars and merchandise. It's a meeting point for all Shelby enthusiasts and owners. But let's have a look and say hello to the team in Rotterdam. Hi Abby and Jack, can you hear me?
Hi Volkert,
Yes, we can hear you.
Jacques and Abby here. Welcome to the Shelby Europe Rotterdam store.
Come with us, let us show you around. At our Shelby Europe flagship store, we showcase the latest range of Shelby merchandise, from caps to shirts to jackets to accessories, from keyrings to books to cups to pens, as well as the most important limited edition Shelby e-bikes in the four most iconic colors.
Inside the showroom, we showcase the latest Shelby, Tuscany, and the extensive vehicle products that we offer under GUA Auto Trade. We consistently display the latest models and offerings, and our team of experts are here to assist you with any of your questions and to explain our wide range of models. Here we have the latest Shelby Super Snake Mustang, the most popular model for the European market. Inside this store, we showcase the latest Mustangs, Shelby F-150s for our European customers to come and view and see and experience in person.
The Shelby e-bike fitted with a removable horizontal bar for both men and women, as well as a Continental battery with a charging time of 3 to 4 hours, fitted with a Continental engine with 4 modes and an engine speed of 25 kilometers per hour, with a front and rear high and low beam lighting with a rear tail light. You'll be sure to be turning heads with this e-bike, just as limited as our Shelby vehicles. You can shop all of these products on our online store 24/7 on officialshelbystore.eu.
Not only do we have a beautiful showroom, but we've got a fully equipped state-of-the-art workshop with US vehicle specialists ready to offer servicing and assist with any intricate jobs. We offer several servicing packages for all our Shelby and Tuscany vehicle models. Our GUA Europe offices have the Shelby Mustang production at our partners in Stuttgart, Germany, TechArt. At this facility, we build the Shelby GT, the GTH, Super Snake and the Super Snake Speedster for Europe and surrounding countries. At this facility, we also build the Asian-specific Shelby Mustangs. Not only do we manufacture and distribute these vehicles for the European and the Asian market, but we've got a dedicated technical team here to ensure the vehicles are tuned and ready for different climates, fuel quality and factors relating to the European emission standards. Our team also provides the extensive testing and approvals for every vehicle model that we offer. The approvals are done with TÜV, and we provide all the paperwork and homologations for each and every vehicle. Each vehicle that is built in EU is tested and signed off by the team of technical professionals we have in-house. Once this is done, our approval documents are sent to Shelby American Inc. to approve and provide the Shelby CSM badging and to input these vehicles onto the Shelby American registry.
I hope you enjoyed our event today. We showed you a lot of new products, but I have 2 more things for you. Let's talk about hybrid. I want to show you the all-new Shelby F-150 off-road and Super Snake hybrid trucks. The all-new Shelby F-150 hybrid truck will come as a model year 2022, and it will be only available in Europe and Asia. But let me show you some first facts of this new and awesome truck. The new Shelby F-150 hybrid truck comes with the proven 3.5 V6 EcoBoost engine, 10-speed modular hybrid transmission, 47 horsepower electric motor, electrically boosted brakes, ProPower onboard inverter, and it saves costs and taxes. We have an estimated range of approximately 600 miles on a single tank of gas. But as a Shelby truck, we push this awesome new F-150 truck even further. We have exclusive Shelby engineered Fox shock system on the Shelby F-150 off-road, Shelby's all-new 22-inch performance wheels, complete Shelby designed body components, Shelby designed interior with 2-tone leathery covers, CSM numbered dash plaque and engine plate. We will open the order bank for this new Shelby F-150 truck over the next days. This truck will be available only through special trained dealers across Europe and Asia. If you want to get the latest informations and news about this truck, please click the link below here on our channel. I hope you like our new Shelby F-150 hybrid trucks and all the other amazing models we showed you today. But now I want to give a big shout out to all the 48 people who really worked hard in the background to make this event even happen. Big thank you goes to Chaos Vision in Los Angeles, to Team Shelby in Las Vegas, to our team in Rotterdam, to East Asia Foundation in Bangkok, to Nong Nush Garden in Pattaya. Thank you girls and guys, thank you so much. Big job. But now I want to give the last word to Gary Patterson, President of Shelby American. Enjoy, take care, and see you soon. Bye bye and Kopkum Krab.
People are the first thing, okay? So really without the people, you can't do this. We don't get the feedback that we want from potential customers. So people are extremely important. Pride is the next thing I look at. It's very important at this factory and everything that we do that we take pride in what we do and how we build our cars and how we represent our company and so forth. And we're very proud of Shelby American and its rich history throughout over 5 decades now of performance. So that brings us to performance. And if you look historically at our company, Carroll Shelby used to say, I'm Carroll Shelby and performance is my business. Today we carry on that mantra, and if you look at any one of these vehicles that we build or have built in the past or whatever, it's all about performance. And performance can be defined differently. It's not just horsepower, it's also brakes and suspension and other product attributes that you might like, and even in current and future programs, you might even see connectivity and a few other things that weren't part of the traditional performance directive that we had in the 60s. So we've really come through that. Product is obviously the final. And as we talked about in performance, looking at how we put performance in each of those products is critically important to our company. And so as an example, 8 years ago, we didn't do any trucks. Today, trucks are 80% of what we do. So we listen to people, we listen to, and look at the market and look at what people want. And then we give them what people want, but we also give them something out of the box that they might not even realize that they want. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, they might not even know it yet, but what they really want is this. So that's really cool. And that was actually an old Henry Ford quote. He said, if I would have asked the people what they wanted, he'd have said a faster horse. And what he gave them was a performance car. Shelby America today is in many ways what it was in the 60s. It's hot rodder people running a hot rod company, which is pretty cool. At the same time though, we've evolved a little bit since 1962, and we not only have the hot rodder mentality, but we also have learned something over the last 56 years, and that says, okay, we want to be hot rodders, but we've got to be a good and successful business and treat it as a business and so forth. So we've kind of evolved from that. But we also, we've expanded on that originally, where we used to do, just produce a car and primarily for the track. Now we do for street, we do for track, we do for off-road, we do merchandise now, we do things globally, which we never used to do. So now we've expanded our brand and our reach throughout the globe, and that's part of where GU Auto Trade comes in and our dealer network in Europe and in Asia. So we're very proud to have them as part of our partners in our partnership with Shelby American. It was entertaining. It was true. Okay, now you could dissect it and say, well, this particular scene wasn't exactly the way it happened. True, it was enhanced for Hollywood. But if you look at the overall story and the storyline of what went on, and you look at the base personalities of those that were portrayed, although somewhat enhanced for Hollywood, very accurate. I mean, I worked with Carroll Shelby closely for the last 16 years of his life. And I got to know Carroll pretty well. And little things like, could you see Carroll Shelby going into Henry Ford II's office and going, you know, you need to get rid of these stuffy suits? Absolutely. I could clearly see him doing those kind of things. It was not only entertaining and a true story, and it was a, you know, the all, you know, godlike Ferrari versus, you know, the company, but it was also large Ford Motor Company versus small racing company, and beat them at their own game. So there was really a lot of that, and there was nationalism and American pride and all those kind of things. But it introduced all those things to a younger and possibly not knowledgeable audience. And it introduced Shelby American to those people, and they thought, well, yeah, I could get a new Shelby at the store, but they didn't realize what that meant and the rich history that our company had and what that meant today and how that transforms into today. So it really introduced a lot of people, men and women alike, who come into our shop now and they go, man, the movie was cool, tell me more, show me more. Boy, I'd love to have a Shelby, and that's very aspirational. Yeah, they do, and they do that for, you know, a number of reasons. So, but a lot of times it's about something that's truly special. It's exclusive. There's not a lot of these cars out there. They're pretty common in this building, but you know, when you look at 100 or 1,000 or 50 or something like that, when you consider that Ford Motor Company sells over 1 million F-Series trucks every year, 500 of something is very, very small. So this is very exclusive. So the chances of your neighbor having one, pretty small, okay? And we also let people do some personalization. So you can say, boy, I like the bright color wheels, or I'd rather have black wheels, or I'd like a red car with white stripes instead of a red car with black stripes. There are some things you can do to really personalize your vehicle. You know, some people also buy them as an investment. If you look at, you know, some of the auction houses and stuff, whether it's, you know, R&M, Barrett-Jackson, anything in particular, you see Shelbys, and they're always at the top of the sales list, the top of the value list. It's a whole lot more than just stickers and scoops. And as we found out in our little tour and so forth, we showed you that. We didn't just say it, we showed you. It's wheels and tires and brakes and suspension and, you know, hardened wheel studs and, you know, functional hoods and aerodynamics that actually really affect the car and make it work. So when you look at that, then the resale value where the Ford number is tied to a Shelby number, so if somebody just steals your parts and puts them on their car, we're going to know it's not the right car. And it protects the owner's investment. So really, that's really part of the things that set us apart from everybody else. You know, Shelby actually did very well. Very scary at first. I think all of us were. You know, it was scary to see what this pandemic really was and how it affected people and so forth. And then as we got more information, we were able to evolve our business into something new. We played by the rules and shut our store down. That was a big deal, especially coming off of the Ford versus Ferrari movie where we had like 35% more visitors than we did the year before. But we had to focus our business about how do we use the retail store, but we do it online now. And we got better at online and our online business. So now that the world is opening back up, we've got a much stronger online business to complement the retail store that we once had and that, quite frankly, we are having again. We're starting to see retail store numbers approaching what we were doing in 2019. We talked to our retail customers and we asked them, what happens in the dealer experience? And the one thing that comes up time and time and time again is our salesperson needs to know the product. They need to know the product attributes. And what I would say to a dealer, a salesman and so forth, is know the product. Know it backward, forward, upside down. Know what product attributes there are, how we compare to the competition, why you would want to buy a Shelby as opposed to some of the other exciting products that are quite frankly out there. But there are very solid, legitimate reasons, and we talked about some of those, why you would want a Shelby over another vehicle. The other thing is, I would tell them, don't put down the other product at all. Focus your attention, focus your attitude, focus everything on the things that make Shelby better and the best. And that's what you want to sell. Especially over the last 4 years, 5 years or so, we've really done what I think is a good job of taking our brand and our company and marrying it with the guys at Ford. We're different companies. We're separate companies. Ford doesn't own us. We certainly don't own them. But at the same time, they realize the strength of the Shelby brand that goes back to 1962. And they know that we bring some things to the table that they either can't because of the size of the company or the brevity of the project. We can run and gun and do things quicker than they can in production. So oftentimes we do things and then we see those same things on production vehicles years down the road. You know, and much of cars have evolved and trucks with that kind of thing for racing. Disc brakes were first pioneered in racing, and they were an advantage to drum brakes clear back to the first Cobras in 1962 when people didn't have disc brakes. Now every car has disc brakes. Now we're looking at different components and things like that, but we have a relationship with those guys. They share information with us, from the engineers to the designers to the marketing people, and they say, boy, you know, yeah, you're on the right track, or no, we tried that and it failed for these reasons, or, you know, we're having some issues here. This is where I would target things if you want to take the power level up another 100 horsepower, 200 horsepower, 300 horsepower. These are some of the things you might want to look. Then we come back and say, okay, this is what we found. This is where we think we should go. What do you think? And they'll say, boy, that really looks good. We think you're on the right track. Or, no, we already tried that. We forgot to share it. And, you know, you might want to try something different. Either way, the relationship is there. And like Ford Motor Company, who has people with the Ford name still as a part of their leadership, we still have Aaron Shelby, who's on our board of directors. He's a car enthusiast, and Aaron and I go to Ford Motor Company on a regular basis. We take some of our team members occasionally here, like Vince LaViolette, who you met also, chief designer, vice president of operations, and some other key people, and we'll go to Ford Motor Company, we'll talk to some of their same counterparts and say, okay, what do you guys think? How can we talk? You know, I can still blame my parents, I guess, right? I can blame my father for his passion for motor cars and motorsports, and we always had something fun and fast in the garage, and he was a mechanical engineer, and he loves what's going on today, and I'm very blessed that my parents are still here. Married 66 years this year, so that's cool. But I still have the first performance Mustang I bought with money I made mowing lawns when I was 16. That has just continued to evolve over time. To have the honor and privilege to work and lead the Shelby team today is just, it's unbelievable to me. And now I've been here for almost 25 years. I've seen the ups and downs, and I've lived it and experienced it, and I've lived it firsthand. And this wasn't even possible when I was a young man. Carroll Shelby was a dying man when I was in high school, right? And in college. This wasn't even possible. He wasn't even into cars anymore for a window of time. But when the doctor tells you in 1960, you're probably going to die in 5 years or less, he lived 52 more. So we don't roll over. When the pandemic hits, we don't give up. We're a company that's hard on the gas. We're looking very forward thinking, and we're looking out the windshield, not the rear view mirror.